really my only ambition in life. I admit that it's probably not much of an ambition, but I just like to draw cartoons, and I wanted to draw some kind of a comic strip, whether it was Terry and the Pirates or Blondie or Crazy Cat. I just wanted to draw a good comic strip. And I discovered after several years of working very hard at it that when I drew little kids, these were the cartoons that editors seemed to like the best.
What is it now, Charlie Brown?
I can't do anything right. I never kick the football. I never win a baseball game. I'll never get that little red-haired girl to like me.
Well, at least you're consistent. You deserve a toast. Here's to you, Charlie Brown.
Gee, thanks.
5 cents, please.
Good evening, and welcome to Here's to You, Charlie Brown, 50 Great Years, starring the beautiful Faith Hill. B.B. King, with special guests Walter Cronkite, Joe Montana, Willie Mays, and Joe Torre. Now, here's your host, Whoopi Goldberg.
Hello, everybody. In case you're wondering why I'm hosting a show about peanuts, I was very honored to call Charles Schulz my friend. When I was doing my own talk show, I had Sparky on as a guest. One of the things that I really like is Woodstock, and I'm going to show you how much I like Woodstock, and this is kind of weird, but...
I was told to ask you about that, but I didn't have the nerve.
Yeah. Well, I have the nerve to show it, honey, but...
I suppose there's no way I could sign it, is there?
Millions of us around the world were deeply saddened at Charles Schulz's passing, but the Peanuts gang, honey, they're gonna live forever, and we celebrate them tonight. You know, Peanuts reminds us of ourselves. For instance, we've all had moments when we've been unlucky in love. I'm no exception. The Peanuts kids, they definitely ran into that problem almost every day. Charlie Brown's wishy-washy pursuit of the little red-haired girl, Sally's false hopes for Linus, Lucy's misguided passion for Schroeder, Marcy and Peppermint Patty's love for a clueless Charlie Brown.
That's the house where that little red-haired girl lives. Maybe she'll see me and come rushing out to thank me for the Valentine card I sent her. Maybe she'll even give me a hug. Sure, and so will the President of the United States invite me to dinner tonight.
Why are you hiding behind this tree, Charlie Brown?
I'm just looking at the house where the little red-haired girl lives. Unfortunately, she doesn't know I'm alive.
What you need then is some subtle way, some sneaky way of letting her know.
I guess that's right.
Hey, kid! Your lover's out here! Schroeder, do you think a pretty girl is like a melody?
I can't say. I've never known any pretty girls.
May your stupid piano be devoured by termites.
Who's the kid with the blanket?
That's Linus. He's my sweet baboo.
I am not your sweet baboo!
He is, but he isn't, but he is.
Now that we're in summer camp, are you going to write Charles, sir?
Not until he writes me first.
Do you mind if I write him, sir?
Do what you want, Marcy.
Dear Charles, I think about you every day.
Marcy, you can't tell Chuck that. He'll get conceited.
Can I say that I think about him every other day?
No, that's still too often.
Dear Charles, I think about you every third day. I got a letter from Charles, sir.
You what? Don't talk to me, Marcy.
What did I do, sir?
You got a letter from Chuck and I didn't. And I let you write to Chuck when you were lonely.
Would you like to push me in the lake, sir?
What would you do if most of the time nobody liked you? And then, all of a sudden, 2 girls liked you at the same time. And you had to choose one and risk hurting the other one's feelings. Dear Marcy and Peppermint Patty, thank you both for liking me. Unfortunately, I have enlisted in the Navy and will be gone for 200 years. Why can't I have a normal dog like everyone else?
I'm sort of curious about something. Do you think you'll ever get married, Chuck?
Oh, I suppose so.
Just about everyone does.
What kind of girl do you think you'll marry?
Well, I always kind of hate to talk about those things because it may sound silly, but I'd like a girl who'd call me poor sweet baby.
Poor sweet baby?
Uh-huh. If I was feeling tired or depressed or something like that, she'd cuddle up close to me and kiss me on the ear and whisper, poor sweet baby.
Forget it, Chuck. It'll never happen.
Hey, never say never. We've got a little surprise for Charlie Brown. Faith Hill.
I'll tell you how to make it well. I've won lots of loving cups for play and show and tell. My poor sweet baby, poor sweet sweet baby. When you need a shoulder, come on, try mine on for size. I'm real good at holding hands and really great at drying eyes. Just try me, cry me all your tears. Why deny me the pleasure of trying? I'm stopping you crying. Don't despair, for smiles are what I'm there for. You won't have to look for me, I'll always be right near, there to kiss and cuddle you and whisper in your ear, don't fear.
We'll be right back with some sports heroes to help out Charlie Brown. Now, when I was a kid, I was a pretty good athlete, but I know there are a lot of you out there who know what it's like to be the one who messes up the big game. Hey, nobody wants to be a loser, but Charlie Brown, he was great at one thing, honey. He was really good at losing.
I'm really depressed about our baseball team.
The only thing you ever think about?
Actually, we don't have a real bad team. It's our right fielder who's so bad.
What's wrong with her?
She's the worst player in the history of the game.
But she's cute, isn't she?
She couldn't catch a ball if it were handed to her.
Well, maybe if you get the ball at the plate now and then, we finally win a game, huh? 5 cents, please.
All right, team, this is our first game of the season. If we all show the right spirit, I think we can win this one. Let's try to encourage each other. Let's hear a little chatter out there, okay?
You're beautiful, kid!
Manager to manager, Charlie Brown, let me give you some advice about pitching. First, you glare at that batter and show him who's boss. And then you let it rip.
Maybe he's right. Maybe that's what I've been missing. First, I'll glare at him. There, now he knows I mean business. And now I'll show him who's the boss.
I've been watching Charlie Brown for 50 years. I think he should give up baseball.
We need a run! We need a run! Hey, manager, what do you give me if I hit a home run? A home run? You never hit the ball out of the infield in your life. If I hit a home run, Schroeder, will you give me a kiss? If you hit a home run, I'll meet you at home plate and give you the biggest kiss you've ever had. Incentive! No problem. She's never hit the ball out of the infield in her life. Come on, Lucy! You can do it! If you hit a home run, maybe we'll all give you a kiss. Blech! She did it! She hit a home run! And you're gonna have to stand out by home plate and kiss her. You promised. She's heading for home! It's kissing time! Okay, Schroeder, this is it. You promised to kiss her. A promise is a promise. Forget it. If that's the only way I'll ever get you to kiss me, forget it. Another victory for women's lib. Rerun is up again. Charlie Brown, do you realize we're about to win our first game ever?
If Rerun gets another walk, we win.
He's so little, they can't pitch to him.
Ball break.
Everyone's yelling and screaming. We must be winning the Stanley Cup.
Ball four.
We won! We won, Charlie Brown! We won our first game ever! We finally won! We won! We won! We won!
I think I'm going to cry.
When Charlie Brown won his first baseball game, after losing 900 straight games, I actually announced it as our closing story on the CBS Evening News. But I didn't know what was to come the following week.
Something was wrong with our first game, but we won it, sir. We won it fair and square. That's the first game we've ever won. You say a group of parents got together, but why?
In all this world, Charlie Brown, there is nothing more frightening than getting together of a group of parents.
Gambling? Gambling? You're taking away our game because of gambling? Who in the world would ever bet on our team? A gambling scandal? I'm disgraced. We have to forfeit the only game we've ever won.
Who did it, Charlie Brown? Who bet on the game?
Your own stupid baby brother.
Rerun? Rerun, I'm ashamed of you.
I didn't know it was wrong. I'm new in the world.
So tonight, a quarter of a century later, I'm forced to make a retraction of our original story. Sorry, Charlie Brown, but that's the way it is.
Who am I? I am the manager. Okay, let's get some runs.
What's that? Ice water. When we win the championship, we'll pour it over our manager's head. I've seen them do it at football games.
We're never going to win a championship. We can't even win a game.
That's all right, but I can't wait forever.
Are you out of your mind? Charlie Brown is going to hate you for the rest of your life. Did we win?
When I was a little kid and we'd gather together and go out to play either tackle or touch football, it never failed that as the game started, we would begin with the kickoff. The person who was going to do the kicking would go running up to kick the ball, and the person holding the ball invariably would pull it away, and everybody would laugh. This just became something that always happened. So why not do it in the comic strip? And who better to have pull it away than Lucy, and who could be better at being the one who has to suffer as Charlie Brown? This happens every year and will probably happen for years to come. At least I hope it will.
I'm going to pretend to hold the football, Charlie Brown. But when you come running up to kick it, I'm going to pull it away. Okay? Men never really listen to what women are saying, do they?
Charlie Brown, let me tell you how to finally kick that football. When you come running up, just hesitate right before you kick. That'll throw Lucy's timing off, and she'll forget to pull the ball away. Trust me.
Maybe he's right. Maybe this'll work. Okay, I'm finally going to kick the football.
He who hesitates is lost, Charlie Brown. And besides, what do quarterbacks know about kicking anyway?
Good grief, Charlie Brown.
We'll be right back with the one and only Snoopy.
Charlie Brown's a very decent, caring little boy. Unfortunately, he is surrounded by people who don't have any idea what's going on, and by a dog who doesn't even remember his name.
As a boy in St. Paul, Minnesota, Charles Schulz apparently had a crazy dog who actually ate razor blades. It's the truth. This dog was eventually the inspiration for the most famous dog in the world, Snoopy. For the first few years in the comic strip, he was on all fours. But when Snoopy started to walk on two legs and have thoughts and feelings of his own, that's when Peanuts took off into greatness.
I have this friend Jack, who has this dog called Snoopy. Now, this is not your ordinary dog. He's been a helicopter pilot, a football referee, a World War I flying ace, a circus star, a magician, and even a sled dog.
The teacher will never believe this, sir.
Quiet, Marcy. I'm on a roll. This dog is also a great sports star. He plays basketball and tennis and golf and ice hockey. And he's also Chuck's shortstop.
I'm warning you, sir. You're going to get another bad grade.
Hush, Marcy. This is gonna be great. He even drives a motorcycle. And he's also a great track star. He also performs a public service as the Easter Beagle. Although sometimes he can overdo it. I guess we should mention some of his weaker traits as well. He tends to annoy the cat next door, which can sometimes cause lots of problems. And of course, all the running around he does, well, it does tend to make him tired, so that he has the tendency to sleep a lot.
I've been standing here a whole minute with your supper dish. It's supper time.
Supper time? Supper time! Behold the brimming bowl of meat and meal, which is brought forth to ease our hunger. Behold the flowing flagon, moist and sweet, which has been sent to slake our thirst.
Okay, there's no need for a big production. Just get down off that doghouse and eat.
Supper time, yes, it's supper time. Oh, it's supper time, very best time of day. Supper time, oh, it's supper time. And when supper time comes, get supper big far away. Bring on the soup dish, bring on the cup, bring on the bacon and fill me up, 'cause it's supper time. Bring on the dog food, bring on the bone, bring on the barrel and roll me home, 'cause it's supper, supper, super pepper upper, supper, super duper supper time. Wintertime's nice with the ice and snow. Summertime's nice with a place to go. Bedtime, overtime, halftime too, but they just can't hold a candle to my summertime. Oh yeah. Bring on the hamburger, bring on the bun. Papa's little puppy loves everyone, 'cause it's supper, 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 super pepper upper, supper, super duper duper.
Now wait a minute, Snoopy. Hey, get down. You're spilling it all over. Now cut that out.
Why can't you eat your meal quietly and calmly like any other normal dog?
So, what's wrong with making mealtime a joyous occasion?
I understand. I know where you're coming from. I've just thought of something. Music can often get people out of depression. For example, have you ever tried whistling?
Whistling?
Yours is a problem of self-esteem. You need to feel good about yourself. Just try whistling. It'll help you feel good about yourself and about everybody around you.
I think maybe I need another suggestion.
You know, music has always been a big part of the Peanuts world. Now, I might be able to bang out chopsticks on this toy piano here, but if Schroeder came by, he could get an entire Beethoven concerto out of it.
Who wants to know? Maybe I just like music.
You like Beethoven?
What?
If you're going to hang around here, you've got to like Beethoven.
All right, but I'll just have a small glass.
You blew it, kid.
He's not very friendly, is he?
You could say that.
What do you think would happen if I turned around and gave him a big kiss?
Who knows?
How should I do it? Just whirl around and kiss him?
Why not?
Blech.
See? That's real music. That's the sort of music that people like, not that old Beethoven stuff. I can't stand it. I just can't stand
it. Ladies and gentlemen, B.B. King.
Starting today. Hey, it looks a little cloudy. Hey, but that's okay, 'cause he's Joe Cool. Joe Cool, dressing up right, going out to catch a lady to take out tonight. Put those shades on, brush his pearly white, looking casual, feeling dynamite. trying to impress each little darling he meet. He says, hey baby, how about a midnight snack? She said, I got a date already, I'll catch you later, Jack. He heads home, but he's no fool. He may not have a girlfriend, but at least he's cool. Joe Cool.
What's your favorite song, Charlie Brown?
Well, let me think.
I didn't think you had a favorite song, Charlie Brown.
Well, there's one. And I think it was also written in the 1960s. I think it was some of that jazz that Franklin was talking about. Do you know who wrote it?
Or even the name Charlie Brown?
Well, I believe the composer was a man by the name of Vince Guaraldi. And I think it was called Linus and Lucy, by coincidence. Well, how does it go? Well, I think it goes like this.
You know, to get through all that childhood heartache and confusion, it didn't hurt to have a little security.
I think 3 out of the 5 children in our family all dragged around these silly little blankets. And this is obviously what gave me the idea for Linus to have the blanket. And of course, from that, we had the ideas for Lucy's being embarrassed by her brother having the blanket. And the most flattering thing, of course, is the fact that security blanket is now in the dictionary. It's become part of our language.
Come back here with that blanket, you crazy dog! Now where did he go? I can't imagine where he went. It's pretty hot out here today. That old sun is really beating down. I'd sure hate to be under a blanket or something on a hot day like this. A person could roast to death. It seems to be getting warmer. Yep, I say that this is just about the hottest day we've had yet. Stupid dog.
I guess I've drawn this round head over 50,000 times now. Many of the struggles that Charlie Brown has gone through are similar to the struggles that I suffered when I was growing up. Struggles, in fact, that we all endure each day of our lives.
Maybe I can put it another way. Life, Charlie Brown, is like a deck chair.
Like a what?
Have you ever seen on a cruise ship, passengers open up these canvas deck chairs so they can sit in the sun? Some people place their chairs facing the rear of the ship so they can see where they've been. Other people face their chairs forward. They want to see where they're going. On the cruise ship of life, Charlie Brown, which way is your deck chair facing?
I've never been able to get mine unfolded.
Our resident musician all these years has been Schroeder. He somehow manages to play everything from Beethoven to jazz on his toy piano.
You and your stupid old Beethoven! By golly, I'll show you! There! What do you think of that? I'll probably never get married.
7 years later, in 1960, it was time to have a baby sister for Charlie Brown. Sally was a character who would speak out freely about all the pressures I think we put on little kids. Because she was younger than the others, we could use 6-year-olds to play her part on television, and this gave us a new, fresh sound.
A centimeter?
If any centimeters come crawling into this room, I'll step on them. Yes, ma'am. For show and tell today, I have brought this leaf. You will note that I left the tree where it was. Yes, ma'am? A man in a truck drove to the zoo. He said to the zookeeper, I've got some good news for you and some bad news for you. Another C-.
By 1970, everyone had a close friend except Snoopy. So we introduced Woodstock, named after the famous music festival. Woodstock had a terrible time trying to learn how to fly and how to adapt to this puzzling world. Again, the animators were able to do things with him that I couldn't do in the comic strip. So our first major addition was a girl named Peppermint Patty. She was a sort of independent girl, living with a single parent who had the audacity to wear sandals. She was the sort who was always willing to try new things, no matter how much trouble they might get her into.
You will just step into the magic closet. We will amaze the audience. Watch carefully, please.
When I started drawing Snoopy back in 1950, Snoopy didn't have any thoughts, or what we call thought balloons. But when he started thinking in the strip, that's when everything began to take off. I guess he was kind of my alter ego, someone who could do all these wonderful things that we normally can't do. And when we finally brought him to television in 1965, this was another dramatic change. But in January of 1952, Lucy Van Pelt joined the group. She represented all the fuss budgets in the world. She also was the perfect antagonist for poor old Charlie Brown. But in many of the first TV shows, she sometimes came out a little too shrill. So it was fun recently to still have her trying to be the boss, but in a more pleasant way.
Lucy says, take your hands off your head. Listen to Lucy. Listen to Lucy. Lucy says, put them on your hips now. Listen to Lucy. Listen to Lucy. Lucy says, I'm gonna be a beautiful girl. Yes, I am. Lucy says, I'm gonna marry Schroeder someday.
Oh, good grief.
Lucy says, pick up your right foot. Listen to Lucy. Listen to Lucy. Lucy says, now hop on your left foot. Listen to Lucy. Listen to Lucy. Now start running in place. I didn't say Lucy says. Lucy's the boss, so listen to Lucy, and that's what Lucy says.
Coming up, the Peanuts gang endures school days and summer haze.
You say I'm hopeless? Would it bother you if I asked for a second opinion?
Not at all. You're hopeless.
You know, growing up is all about trying to figure out what the heck is going on. And it's not easy. And it certainly wasn't easy for the Peanuts kids. Hey, maybe that's why we identify so much with the stuff they go through day in and day out.
Who is the father of Henry IV? I could not possibly care less. Whoops, I'm sorry. I apologize.
That was just a gut reaction.
My report is on Africa. Actually, what I meant to say is, my report would have been on Africa if, well, my intentions were, it seems that I just never, quite get around to, well, you know how it goes sometimes, and, I throw myself upon the mercy of the court.
Ma'am, I think the ceiling is leaking. Yes, ma'am, right up there. See? I told her about it, sir. Thanks, Marcy. I don't like to be the kind who complains. Yes, ma'am. I guess that works. Thank you for telling the custodian about the leak in the ceiling, ma'am. He certainly took care of it fast, didn't he, sir? You might say that. The principal told the teacher she might consider moving you to another desk, sir. But she said she can't do that. Why not? She said it would destroy her alphabetical seating arrangement. I think it stopped raining, sir. You can take the pan off your head now. Maybe you could give our class a report on the annual rainfall in this area. I appreciate your letting me help you, Charlie Brown. I like to feel needed. I'll bet this kite will fly clear up to the clouds.
Well, we'll see. Okay, let go.
It's up! You got it up, Charlie Brown. You got it up with my help. Will you tell everybody that I helped you, Charlie Brown? Will ya? Will you tell everybody that we were a team, Charlie Brown? And that we worked together? Huh? Will ya? I don't know you. Charlie Brown, you can't possibly imagine how glad we'll all be when the kite flying season is over. It's about time you got a look at the outside world. Well, what do you think? You mean this is it? Things still aren't the way I expected them to be. When I was first born, everyone came around me. But now I never see anyone. People seem to laugh a lot more in those days, too. I'm only a year old, and already I'm living in the past.
And everybody knows it just wouldn't be a holiday without the Peanuts gang. Come on.
Come on, let's get going. It's time for the Halloween party. Has the great pumpkin been by? What blockhead sitting in a pumpkin patch in the middle of the night?
You've missed trick or treat, and now you're going to miss the Halloween party.
What a way to spend Halloween. You think you're so smart. Just wait until the great pumpkin comes. He'll be here. You can bet on that. Linus knows what he's talking about. Linus knows what he's doing. All right, where is he?
He'll be here.
I hope so. I have my reputation to think of, you know. And just think of all the fun we're missing. I got 5 pieces of candy. I got a chocolate bar. I got a quarter. I got a rock. If anyone had told me I'd be waiting in a pumpkin patch on Halloween night, I'd have said they were crazy.
Just think, Sally, when the great pumpkin rises out of the pumpkin patch, we'll be here to see him. What's that? What's that? I hear the great pumpkin.
There he is! There he is! It's the great pumpkin! He's rising up out of the pumpkin patch!
Sleigh bells in the air, beauty everywhere, Yuletide
Coming up next, Happiness is a Warm Puppy.
You look distressed.
I'm always distressed. I think maybe I worry too much. I suppose we all have anxieties, but maybe I worry that maybe Has anyone told NASA about this?
This is the space capsule from the Apollo 10 flight in 1969. Wow! Look at that small space they had to fit in.
The astronauts flew just 8 miles from the moon. It was a dress rehearsal for the moon landing on the next flight.
That's funny.
What's funny, big brother?
It says here that on this Apollo 10 mission, that the lunar module was called Snoopy, and the command module was called Charlie Brown.
That's the strangest coincidence I've ever heard of.
One of the reasons that the Peanuts kids are so big at the Smithsonian is because they've been stars of screen, television, and stage. Speaking of which, here is one of the hit songs from the musical You're a Good Man, Charlie Brown, Happiness.
Happiness is finding a pencil, knowing a secret, telling the time. Happiness is learning to whistle, tying your shoe for the very first time. Happiness is playing the drum in your own school band, and happiness is walking hand in hand. Happiness is morning and evening, daytime and nighttime too. For happiness is anyone and anything at all that's loved by you. Happiness is having a sister, sharing a sandwich, getting along. Happiness is singing together when day is through, and happiness is those who sing with you. Happiness is morning and evening, daytime and nighttime too. For happiness is anyone and anything at all that's loved by you. You're a good man, Charlie Brown.
Happiness. That's something Charles Schulz and Peanuts have brought us for half a century. We may have lost Sparky, but we'll have Charlie Brown, Lucy, Linus, Snoopy, and all the Peanuts gang forever. Here's to you, Charlie Brown, and to you, Charles Schulz. Good night.